what would happen when you are no more. Towards the end of this term, I asked her, what is the biggest thing that you learned in this year? I can very well live without you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Your motive is accomplished. How did Eva end up at Sholai?
I was looking at a boarding residential school. She was in her 4th grade. She was not as fast in writing. But then I understood that this one-size-fits-all kind of education is not the right thing. Teacher does not smile when she smiles back. Here she was happy learning subjects.
What difference do you see in her?
Her sense of self and her sense of independence is now as good as an adult can have.
When we send our child to a school, especially to a boarding school, we have a lot of expectations as a parent. Sometimes things go our way, sometimes things don't go our way, some things happen, some things don't happen. What I wanted to do was I wanted to talk to this parent who lives in Mumbai, found a school in Kodaikanal, send their child to. And I wanted to understand how has been his experience over the last 6 months.
So I'm Ashwin. I'm born and brought up in Bombay and then various parts of India. We are a family of 3, me, Jaya and Eva. Yeah, so it's just 3 of us. That's it.
How did Eva end up at Sholai?
I particularly had a different view of looking at education. And I tried to raise Eva in, without as much little conditioning as possible. So there was no concept of good girl reward or a bad girl. Couple of years she lost in the COVID time. The school moved online, and in Bombay, we didn't stress much on that online school. So when the school reopened, she was in her 4th grade. She was not as fast in writing like her peers. So she would fall behind and then get judged for generally being slow. I totally understand that some kids can be better at writing and faster, and some kids can be slower. But then I understood that this one-size-fits-all kind of education is not the right thing. Even before that, when I was growing up, I had read a book which had a lasting impact on me. It's called as Deschooling Society by Ivan Ilyich. In that book, and that I relate to, because even if you ask a 2-year-old child, and you tell them you are small, the child says that no, I'm not small, I'm big. I know what I'm doing. So as soon as we start getting the sense, developing the sense of self, we think that we can do it. And so we should not treat children as small, inferior in ways
or
incapable of anything. So that is the whole idea, to treat them as equals and as an independent person. But to really become independent in life, you have to let go. So I think it is more difficult for parents to let go of their children than for children to let go of parents, because it is very natural that they want to grow. So it's human biological thing that they will grow out of your nest. But parents don't want to let go. So it was also as much important for me to let go at certain point when I thought that I would like her to say a no for a no, and starting with the father figure. So if she really doesn't want to do something, she should be confident and very normal about saying no to things. Many a times we live our lives for the sake of our parents, for the sake of our teachers, for the sake of our peers, and later on regret thinking that I should have said a no. So even before you say a yes, saying a no is very important, which I learned from my own experiences. So I was looking out for schools that could actually be really good. So I traveled a bit in Auroville to look at some schools. Goa, because I was looking at a boarding residential school. None of the schools in Bombay could satisfy that since we had a house there. And then I had heard of this Sholai School. I had known of this school for some time. When I traveled to Kodaikanal, I had heard of the school. So we thought of giving it a try. The good part about it is the school is not in a hurry to take on students. So there is a concept of trial month, which is not there in many schools. So we sent Eva for a month. And we, at the end of the month, asked her how did she feel about it. She was very excited and happy. So few things that mattered to me was she would often complain that the maths teacher does not smile when she smiles back in Bombay. Or says good morning and smiles back. There is a good morning but no smile. Here she was happy learning subjects which she thought were boring.
She thought in Bombay were boring. She was happy to learn them
here because it's just the relationship between the teacher and the student was like pals. There was such pally, and that actually made a lot of difference. Also, she became quite independent in that 1 month that I observed the changes in her. I went through her journal to see, things that she has done. She made some very good friends. She was wanting to come back. So the next year we decided that that she really wants to do it, and it's a good thing for us. So even though it will take us little time to adjust, and
Harder for you than for her.
it was definitely harder for us, for more than me, to her mother as well, and to live without her, being used to being the fun in the house, and then suddenly the quiet, it's called as the empty nest syndrome.
Yeah.
People go through it when their children get married. We kind of preponed it for ourselves. We bought it upon ourselves maybe in a few years earlier.
Many years earlier.
So, but I'm glad we did it. I'm very happy. She's very happy, and I think it's a good decision in the long run.
But you keep visiting here, like you're here
Yes,
today.
so yes, the other thing about small schools and schools that require, the school is basically you can say it's a unit for the entire world or the society. It's like a family is a unit, so it's a social unit. School is not complete with just teachers and students, and until the parents are involved. And by being involved doesn't mean just paying fees. Being involved doesn't mean that caring for your students' progress. Being involved to me also means that you are able to contribute to the school ecosystem and make a difference. So I have a relationship with all the other children in the school as an uncle or an anna, whatever they call me. I have a relationship with all the teachers. I have a relationship with this land. This school, which is spread across in 70 acres, is like I said, is a microcosm of all the people, the plants, the animals, and everyone living here. So I like to be involved with the school, with all the activities that happen in the school.
For a parent who wants to be involved, this is a good place.
This is definitely a good place because you can actually come and contribute. If you want, you could teach subjects of your interest. So, because, if you look at it, maybe you have a doctor in the school, you have a child and the parents are doctors. Probably teach biology in a way that a biology teacher would not be able to teach.
So whatever parents do, they can actually come to the school and
they could teach their professions.
I find that very fascinating in the sense of most schools in the city would tell the parent not to get involved, right? That let us run the school. We know how to run a school.
Yes.
You don't please tell us, right?
Yes.
But in this case, parents can get involved. Parents can visit.
Oh yes, parents can get involved in a great way. It depends on how much time
and energy you want
to volunteer with. Like you could generally just, when you know the child, you could recommend them books, you could recommend their subjects. You could also be a kind of a counselor because, to your own child, you are a parent, but to someone else's child, you are just an uncle. And maybe they open up to their personal problems. Sometimes they open up to their personal secrets. They're always looking out for someone who can guide them. So it's better to have more, people like this involved in schools.
So now that your daughter has been here for a few months, what difference do you see in her?
I see that her sense of self and her sense of independence is now really as good as an adult can have. There was an incident I remember, it's worth sharing. She's the only child, so she would always say, when she started realizing life and death, what would happen when you are no more? And, I'm scared of the thought that you would one day die and I would be all alone. And towards the end of this term, I asked her, what is the biggest thing that you learned in this year? And she said to me that, I had said this, but I can very well live without you.
Congratulations. Your motive is accomplished.
This is my motive. In a way accomplished. I see that, like I said, she's got more time to herself. The other thing was that we both being working parents in Bombay could not control this screen time, and everyone's grappling with this problem. Too much of screen time, nobody to see what are they doing, parental guidance or whatever. But here suddenly that time is cut off. But so much of time that is freed, she is now putting it in actually reading books, actually doing activities. So I'm not sure if she had she been in any other school, she would have read 5 novels, which she completed in this 4-5 months that she was here. Simple books, and those were through recommendations, She was into reading a lot of manga cartoons, but now she read Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland, and she also read The Secret Life of Trees. So random books that she came across. And so I think that's also good because that will develop her as a person. Even if she's the only child, she's got to experience having elder brothers and sisters in the boarding and also younger brothers and sisters. So in that sense, she's got siblings. She also always wanted a pet, and we were against bringing a pet in an apartment in Bombay. But here she's got enough cats, dogs and cows. Here she's got a relationship with a lot of animals. That need of hers is also satisfied, which I think is very basic need for everyone to relate to.
I think it's interesting that you see so many changes, that you're observant
Yes.
of your child, and your child also actually is communicating with you. So any other changes that you noticed?
There's one big change that I see, and I think many parents may be able to relate to this, is food habits. Generally, every food, every cuisine, every house will have their own, peculiarities about the spice level, the salt levels. I remember she would not eat beetroots. She would not eat anything with onions in it, maybe because of the strong smell. So even when up till she was 10, there was certain food that she would not eat, and certain food that she would like to
10
eat.
years old.
Yes. But the last 1 year that she's here, she's eating in the buffet and in the vegetable fare that is there here. She started to eat all vegetables. Even if she doesn't eat a lot of it, she likes to taste it. This concept of being broad-minded about trying out different things, right? It's so limiting. If you are certain, let's say you're vegetarian, you go to Japan and you still remain a vegetarian, it's fine, totally fine. But you'd never be able to, be in Japan the way you could have been had you not had this kind
Assimilate
of
in that culture.
assimilate in that culture if you'd not had these boundaries. So your choice is yours, but you should have the mind that is open.
So,
Yeah, so-
and what do you think about studies?
So studies really at this age, it should be more about knowing yourself, knowing what you like to do, and also being able to see, because what is more important is the habit of sitting and doing things at a long time. Let's say a child enjoys painting and can paint for 4 hours at a stretch. If the painting is replaced by, let's say, reading biology, the child still knows how to sit for 4 hours and do it. So it is that habit that is actually, going to last and help him or her study whatever they want to study. So right now it's all about knowing yourself, having a strong bond of connection between yourself and nature. And they are studying. They are reading a lot. They are reading the news. They are reading the regular subjects. They are taking it at their own speed. So some children here are really fast and good at math, while some are slow. But whatever they are learning, that they are retaining, if you ask, what did you learn? So I'll give you one more example. There are a lot of fireflies here. And once we saw that one of the science teacher gave a project to the children to talk about plants, animals that have bioluminescence effect. And so they were broken into groups and they did this charts, and everyone chose plants or animals that glow. So for example, fireflies, then you have some fungi that gives out light. There are a lot of other animals which I was also not aware of. And there are bioluminescence beaches, there are microbes that glow, and so on and so forth. And then the children created this chart, they created this project, and they learned about this effect, bioluminescence effect. Now this bit of information, I think she would never ever forget. In fact, she was able to tell me where in India are beaches that you can still see this effect, or what are the other animals besides these that we generally know have this bioluminescence effect. So the point I'm making is what she is really retaining here, and that is absolutely fantastic. The other skill that Sholai children learn is to be able to comprehend and communicate. So they do a lot of assignments where you have to write in your own words. The other thing I remember, that essay writing and languages are given very little importance, but they become like the principal skill in whatever profession you are. If you are a doctor and you are a good communicator,
you have to communicate.
You have to communicate. So here there is a lot of emphasis on writing in your own words about the way you feel, process, and think about things.
Not on fast and slow writing, but on being able to communicate your thoughts.
Independently, right? Originally. And so they write poems, they write their own stories. Sometimes they write, even if it's an essay about a scientific experiment, they write it in their own words. It is not an answer that is coming from a textbook. So I think that is a great life skill that they learn. And because of that, the way they learn these subjects is very, very different than what happens in other schools.
Very cool.